Hi guys, it's me, Trudy Lee. How's everybody doing? I understand some of you experienced some rough weather last night. So today is Friday, May 17th, 2024. And we've had horrible winds and tornadoes and rain. We had a little bit of rain last night, but the north side of Houston, I think they got the brunt of it. There's like 800,000 homes without electricity today and everything, and a lot of trees down. And I haven't watched news, but my family lives in that area, and they've sent me pictures of their friend's house and the yard and everything. So there's a lot of trees and branches down. So I know you guys have experienced a lot of really heavy weather. So I'm just praying for y'all to stay out of harm's way and listen to your weather advisories and get to safety if need be. Because we're still in for a few more tornadoes. It's still springtime, and severe weather is still going to be coming your way. So be careful. Just watch out. Watch your weather stations and your weather advisories so that you don't get caught in the storm and you know where to go if a storm's coming, if a tornado's coming. We're pretty safe here because we're at a high altitude and we're on a hill, so it's pretty safe here from tornadoes, and from floods. So we're in a good spot here. So today there's no trial going on. Trump has been let off to go watch his son Barron graduate high school. I understand he hasn't watched the other children graduate, but he's going to watch. He's going to go, or maybe he already has. I don't know. It was supposed to be in the morning. And then he can have a rally tonight because he doesn't have to go to court. But on Monday, we'll see Cohen back on the stand to finish up the cross-examine, and then they'll do the redirect and well, kind of plug up the holes. Any leaks that came about, they'll plug them up. So they'll make him look good. Okay, but I feel like the jury is already believing him, but they're just going to fix up any holes that sprung. Don't worry, everything's going to be fine. Okay, I actually have a story to tell y'all, so I'm just taking a break a little bit from reading politics and all. So it's story time. On TikTok they say story time. So we can do that on YouTube too. We can have story time. So this is a story that I've never told anybody before. Now, I may have told the daughter that it happened to, but just kidding with her, saying if you have brain damage, this is why. Let me tell y'all what happened. So when I was about 18 years old, I had my little baby girl. And when she was 3 months old, my husband's company invited us to go to Lake Travis for the weekend for a fish fry. So we were all down for that. She was born in December and this is March, but remember it's Texas here, and it may have been late March, so it's already warm. It's already pretty warm, pretty nice outside in March here. So we go to Lake Travis for the weekend. I remember the hotel room being two double beds. It's on Lake Travis. Uh, the nightstand was the kind that was kind of affixed to the wall somehow, but not completely against the wall. There was a little bit of a gap. And then the beds were really close to the nightstand where it just had a little bit of a gap between the bed and the nightstand, just enough to make the bed, put the bedspread on or whatever, the comforter. So my husband slept in one bed and I slept in the other bed with my baby. So she was 3 months old and I put her next to my head. I put a pillow and I put another pillow on the other side where the nightstand was. And I fixed it so the pillow was kind of a little bit across the nightstand. So her body was parallel with the nightstand. There was all pillows there, and next to me was a pillow, and I was facing her. I'm a really light sleeper, so I'm not worried at all. I know if she makes a move, I'll wake up like that. I've always been a super light sleeper, still am. So I say, well. Lo and behold, y'all know where this is going, right? I woke up the next morning to the baby's muffled cry. So back in those days, you're supposed to sometimes lay them on their stomach, sometimes on their back. We were told to change positions of the baby all the time so they wouldn't have a weird shaped head. Now they tell you not to put a baby on its stomach when it's really young. They can have tummy time, but not to sleep on their stomach. I think that's what's recommended now. Anyway, I do believe I put her on her stomach to sleep. I do believe. And like I said, she was 3 months old. She wasn't crawling. She wasn't rolling over, nothing. She was just, I didn't have to worry about her. She wasn't going to move. She's 3 months old. But somehow that little thing had pushed her way up to the pillow. The pillow had went down in the back of that nightstand, and she was head first into that nightstand, almost standing on her head. But the pillow was blocking her from falling. She was still kind of on the pillow. I don't know how that happened. I just almost screamed. I jumped up and I grabbed her and picked her up. She was fine. It wasn't a scratch on her or anything, but she was getting uncomfortable, probably all the blood rushing to her head, and she had started to wake up and cry a little bit. Um, it was so scary, y'all. My heart was just pounding. It really was. It was pounding. Scared me to death. That was the scariest thing. I've had a couple of incidents with her. Sorry, just had a coughing fit. I've had a couple of incidents with her, but nothing that I had to call the emergency, call 911 or anything. So thank goodness for that. But she was fine. She was okay. We had our fish fry. We did everything. She was fine. But I remember that morning getting up and going out on the veranda, looking out at the lakeside. It looked like a park. There were swings and everything. It was very nice. And there were ducks everywhere. It was so pretty. And I saw this one duck. This one duck kept chasing around another duck, attacking the duck. They were quacking and making all kinds of noises. And I say to my husband, that duck is so mean. It's attacking the other duck. It's just beating him up. He's so mean. And he's like, no, he's not beating the duck up. He's just horny. I'm like, what? It dawned on me that they were mating. I had never seen ducks mate or been around ducks or anything. Didn't even occur to me. I'm 18 years old. And I'm like, what? Oh my gosh, they're mating. Oh, it's springtime. I guess maybe they're mating in the springtime. It's so funny. I thought they were just fighting. It looked like they were fighting, that's for sure, but one was jumping on the other. It's crazy. Another story about the same daughter, y'all. You're just wondering how she survived me. I am too at this time. Okay, so this happened when she was just a toddler. She was barely walking, and you know how a toddler will pull themselves up on the bed and then they'll walk along the bed as long as they or a coffee table, as long as they got something to hold on to, they can walk. Well, she was at that stage. Y'all, oh, this is so scary. It's really scary. And everything was like she wanted to taste everything. Everything was with the mouth. She just had her mouth out like I want to taste, I want to bite anything that I can get in front of my face. That's how she was. Some kids are like that. I had just ironed a shirt for myself on the bed, and on the end table, another end table thing, on the end table was the iron that I had just used. And I see her coming. I'm standing in the bedroom and I see her, and all of a sudden she sees the iron, and she makes a beeline for it, and she has her mouth open and she wants to taste the iron. And I was like, ah! And when I screamed and scared her, and she hit the nightstand, and when she hit the nightstand, it made the iron fall. The iron fall, and it grazed her right here on the forehead, burned her forehead. Oh my God. I grabbed that baby up, took her to the sink, and I was just spraying water all in her face. I was just putting cold water on her, and she had a burn mark on her. And oh my gosh, when my husband got home, Johnny, he was so mad at me. He was saying, I can't believe you burned our baby. I can't believe you did that. I didn't have a ironing board at that time. I told you we got married 9 months later, we had a baby. So I didn't have all my ducks in a row. I was just ironing on the bed. I don't know. I don't know why. I was, like I said, I was 18 years old. I was probably 19 by then. I had already been another year, so I was probably 19. I should have known better. Shouldn't have left that iron there where a little child could get to it. I thought I was in the bedroom with her and she was safe because I was watching her. But you can watch somebody do something, your child do something to hurt themselves right in front of you. But he was so mad at me, and we took the baby to the doctor. We just to make sure that the burn didn't leave a scar and everything. And I got some cream for her, and it didn't scar or anything. My husband kept saying every day I would put the medicine on her, and he'd say, "You better hope this doesn't scar this baby." She was a beautiful, beautiful baby. So he was just um, really upset that she might have a scar on her head, but she was fine. Scar went away, baby skin, everything faded. It was fine. It was good. So learn your lesson. I learned my lesson. I know you ladies already have learned these lessons in your life, but never leave home without a porter crib or, playpen or some place to put your baby in, because even when you think they can't roll or can't crawl or can't move, they can. They'll surprise you, and you don't want to get caught like I did with your baby falling off the bed. My granddaughter fell off the bed one time too, and my daughter lived right next door, and she was a tiny baby. I don't know, she was a few months old also. And we have all ceramic floors. So she had tile floor in her house. I have it all in my house. She lived right next door to me. And she told me this years later. She wouldn't have told me this at the time because I would have went ballistic. She said the baby rolled onto the floor and the baby hit her head on the floor and screamed. And they ran to the emergency room, took the baby to the hospital, her and her husband. I live right next door. They never told me anything at all. They were so embarrassed that they had left the baby on the bed and let her fall and hit her head that they didn't want to tell anybody. But she was okay. She didn't have a concussion or nothing. She was fine. But yeah, you got to supervise those little ones for sure. Be very, very careful with them, and don't leave your irons out where any little child can try to lick them or get them, because they just want to grab everything. So I had to learn the hard way, and my poor little baby girl had to learn with me. So y'all listen to what I say, and be very careful. Don't take your eyes off those kids. I'll tell you what, I did watch my kids like a hawk. I really, really did. But still, things happen. You got to be careful, and you can never be too careful with them. That's for sure. So anyway, that's my stories. Don't judge me. I've learned a lot in my years. I wouldn't do the same things over. Definitely wouldn't leave the baby on the bed. Oh, let me tell y'all one more baby story. Oh my gosh, before I go. This is crazy. So this is something else. When our grandson was born, he was probably 5 months old, around 5 months old, just at that age where they can grab things. They can't walk or not really crawling or anything, but they're sitting up really good and they can grab a hold of things, and they're kind of chunky. They're at a really good stage. They're so cuddly. He was chunky and roly-poly and sweet and cute. He was our first grandbaby. And my daughter and her husband were going to Las Vegas for the weekend. He had some business there, so he was going for work, and she was going to tag along, and they were going to have a little bit of fun. And it would be the first time that she was away from the baby, and she actually was really exhausted, and she was looking forward to just sleeping in and not having to get up and take care of a baby. And we were so happy. We were so excited. We couldn't wait to take care of him for the weekend. Y'all know where this is going. And my husband, all he could talk about was he wanted to take a shower with that baby. And I'm like, you don't need to take a shower with that baby. And he's like, yeah, I want to put him in the shower. I want to wash him all off and soap him all up and wash him off. I want to give him a bath. And I'm like, but you don't need to take a shower with them. You know how slippery they get when you're holding them against your skin when they're soapy? So I was like, that's not a good idea. I don't think so. And he's like, I'll be real careful with him. I'll hold him on my shoulder. And my husband got in the shower and I had the baby and he was like, bring the baby to me, bring him. And like a dummy, I listened to him and I brought the baby to him because baby needed a bath anyway. So he put him in the shower with him and he's holding him on. And while he's holding the baby on his shoulder, the baby is getting his razor off the shelf behind him. And my husband doesn't know it because he's washing his back and his butt and everything. He's washing him. He's enjoying it. He couldn't wait to scrub that baby down like it was dirty or something. And the baby grabbed the razor, and it wasn't wasn't a blade or anything. It was just a disposable razor. But those little fingers are so soft, and it cut his finger. The razor cut his finger. I'm telling you, that bled and bled. That little finger bled like crazy. We were just like, oh my God, I'm like, he's bleeding. And because I was standing there watching him the whole time, I wasn't going to leave the shower, and I saw him grab the razor. I saw he's got the razor and took it away from him, but his finger was bleeding. So, oh my gosh, it was a nightmare for us. Oh, I put a Band-Aid on his finger and I laid him on the bed here, and I have a picture of him. And I should find it. I don't know if I can find it or not, but I took a picture of him and he fell asleep on the pillow and his hands are like this on his chest and there's a little Band-Aid around one of his fingers. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's got to heal before his mother comes home. And thank goodness it did. It healed before she even got home. It took, she was gone for a couple of days. By the time she came back, it was nothing. There was nothing there. So she never saw it or never knew it. So it wasn't a very deep cut or anything. But, that baby skin is so soft. Oh my gosh, I told my husband, don't you ever ask to take a shower with one of these kids again. Never. It's never going to happen again. So that's our stories, with our grandbabies and our children. That's some of the scariest things that happen. Little things like that scare the heck out of you, but you can look back years later and say, we were just kind of overreacting about a little nick on the finger, but it scared us to death because we just were in love with that baby. So don't take a shower with your baby. They could slip out of your hands. They can get really soapy and slip right out of your hands and fall, and that would not be good. So don't do that. It's not good. And they can grab, your razor and all your stuff on your shelf because they will if they can. All right, guys. So that was just a little bit of story time. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I'll come back and do some reading soon. I've been doing healing sessions and readings and working with people. So if you need some help, I'll be glad to work with you and help you. Look down below. I'll leave my email. I hope you have a wonderful day, and y'all take care. Stay out of the weather. Be alert, be on alert. Listen to your weather advisories. Take care. And do something kind for somebody. It'll always come back to you. Bye for now. Love y'all.